Well, first of all, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Really interesting topic of conversation we're having today, isn't it? It's on the international work. Can we start by looking at the role of USAID, and in particular the role of USAID with city and city development?
Sure. So USAID is the U.S. Agency for International Development. We are the foreign assistance wing of the federal government. And it's increasingly clear to us that urbanization presents a challenge and an opportunity to achieve our key objectives, which are food security, public health, and resiliency to climate change. Cities in the developing world are really facing rapid rates of urbanization, and it's important for us to create sustainable conditions where services can be provided to residents. So by working with ICMA, we can really capitalize on the technical expertise of city managers in the U.S. who provide expertise to their cities over the long term. And it's been a very, very successful relationship that we've developed over several decades.
Fantastic. So how does the ICMA get involved with this?
Well, ICMA has the advantage of almost 10,000 members, mostly domestic members in the U.S., but also international members. And we can access our members and their cities to provide the kind of expertise and partner with cities in developing countries where an exchange of information takes place. Local government managers from one city will visit another, and then the exchange will happen, and there's practical roll up your sleeves problem solving that happens in this dynamic. It's very exciting and it's very effective, cost effective and practical.
That's what ICMA members are good at, right? Rolling up their sleeves, getting on with things.
We solve problems and we're responsive to our citizens in our communities. And Bob has delivered the goods for ICMA and for USAID as well.
Well, yes, in 2002, my community, Tigard, Oregon, participated in a program that was funded by USAID through ICMA to work with Samarinda, Indonesia. And we provided them with technical assistance in finance, as well as water service delivery, public participation, environmental education. It was very rewarding for us, as well as for the community that receives the service.
I mean, I know this sounds a little bit hard-hearted, but in these days of austerity, what's in it for you though?
Well, for me personally, it allowed me to stretch my abilities to work in an environment that I was not familiar with, so I became less risk adverse. And also for my community, it allowed our community to show that our staff was able to work in more difficult circumstances, and it actually energized them. It also made for greater coordination with our community citizens.
In this age of globalization, it's getting more and more important, isn't it, to be able to reach out and spread best practice in this type of way?
Absolutely. I mean, the world is so connected now, and what's really great about these partnerships is that cities in the U.S. and cities in the developing world face very similar challenges. Maybe it's at a different scale, but they're really working on the same stuff. And it's so rewarding to see these partnerships happening where peers are learning from each other. The fact that some of these partnerships continue even after the formal program has ended is absolutely critical for us, because that means we're getting more value, more return on our investment, and it's just not a very typical thing to see in USAID programming. So it's a very rewarding program. We're linking the U.S. with the developing world, and we are increasingly connected, and the more that we can foster these connections, the better for everyone.
Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us. That was great. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Pleasure to be here.